Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to take a look at Blissey EX and how we're going to win with Blissey EX in Pokemon TCG Pocket. Earlier today, I told you about that new event which is going on. The drop event, which is how you get Blissey. But let's assume you've got Blissey. You've done what I suggested. You've played until you've got 2 of your Blissey. Well, now what? Well, now we need to try and win with Blissey. So, how do we actually do this? There's a bunch of different ways. What we want to do, though, is we want to highlight the real bonuses of Blissey. Now, Blissey is all colorless energy. That's incredibly important. So, it doesn't matter what energy we use. We just need to try and accelerate the 4 energy on as fast as we can. But then you look at Blissey and you're like, well, 180 HP, all right. 100 damage, flip a coin if heads, heal 60. Oh, okay. That sounds good. So basically, make Blissey invincible. That's the goal here. We are trying to make Blissey invincible. So what kind of stuff do we want to do here? Well, let's go for the invincibility first. Obviously, it's not going to be actually invincible, but we're going to do the best that we can. We're going to need some kind of tool to give ourselves a bit more bulk. What have we got? Well, there is an argument for leftovers. Heal 10 damage from this Pokemon. And then there's also a stronger, I believe, argument for Giant Cape. I think Giant Cape and leftovers are essentially your options here, and I would be inclined to go for Giant Cape. But then again, maybe after a bunch of testing, we're all going to decide leftovers is the better one. I am absolutely down with either. They are essentially the tools we're looking at here. It's whether you want 20 extra damage now, or whether you want to essentially take a chance that you're going to be there in the active healing for a bit, and then in that case, leftovers is going to be a better option. But they are essentially the tools that we're going for here. When we've done all of that, we are basically looking for healing. So what have we got? Well, we need to mention Will first of all. Will is phenomenal here. Will is a supporter card that says the next time you flip any number of coins for the effect of an attack, ability, or trainer card after using this card on this turn, the first coin flip will definitely be heads. Phrasing's a bit awkward, I'll be honest with you. But I'm telling you right now, this guarantees healing 60 with Blissey. And let me spoil the surprise quickly. You aren't healing more than 60. You're just not. There's no way you're healing more than 60 here. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Or could you heal more? Because how about a lemur? Put one of your colorless Pokemon that has damage on it into your hand. Now, this one is a little bit of a in case of emergency break glass kind of thing. Essentially, your goal here, don't use this unless you have another Blissey ready to go. Or else you're putting something else in the firing line and it's getting KO'd, and that's a big deal. But you can literally just pick up your Blissey that's heavily damaged and about to be KO'd. You don't want to. You do not want to use this card. I cannot stress that enough. However, you know what? Sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you're about to be KO'd, and that's going to be a little bit of an issue. So go for it. There's a bunch of healing supporters which work that you just can't use here. So I think we're kind of stuck with Pokemon Center Lady. I don't love Pokemon Center Lady. Heal 30 damage, but you know what? That's fine. Oh, hang on a second. What about Irida? Because you see, if we look at something like Lily heals 60 damage from a Stage 2 Pokemon. Well, this isn't a Stage 2 Pokemon. You're not going to make this a Stage 2 Pokemon. It's not happening. Gutted. But this could be a Pokemon with water energy attached to it now, couldn't it? Oh yeah, Absolutely could. And that's where Irida comes in. Irida's healing is not based on the kind of Pokemon you've got. Irida's healing is based on the type of energy that is attached to your Pokemon. So Irida here, just make sure you've got water energy on Blissey, and now you're healing 40. But the real trick with Irida is you're not healing 40 from one Pokemon, you're healing 40 from all Pokemon with water energy attached. So if you get 2 Blissey and you switch one into the other, you can then heal both of them using Irida. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So honestly, supporter-wise, we're doing all right. Irida's great if you're playing water energy. Pokemon Center Lady is a very nice card. Heals 30 and special conditions, but against like poison decks, that's actually going to be beautiful. Will guarantees your healing, which is great. Of course, half the time it's going to be a pointless card, but shh. Analema is your break glass in case of emergency. Oh, I'm about to get KO'd. What do I do? Kinda Pokemon. By the way, I'm not really looking at blue here. Blue reduces damage done to you by 10. That is worse than all the healing we're looking at. It's really good if you're thinking you're going to get one hit KO'd. You got 180 HP. You shouldn't be one hit KO'd. If you're getting one hit KO'd, that's rubbish. But I'm sorry, I don't think we can really put too much worry into that for the time being. So that's what we're doing with Blissey. We've got tools which can make you a bit bigger, and we've got ourselves supporter cards that can heal. But actually, there's somebody else who might want to come in if we can find space. Don't forget about Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff heals 20 damage from your active Pokemon once during your turn. It's a stage 1, it sits on the bench, it does healing. It's also colorless for what that's worth, so it means it could potentially be picked up with a Lima. It can use any kind of energy if you're that desperate, etc. Again, I'm really looking at just kind of leaving this on the bench to do its thing, but I am telling you that actually this can work. I kind of like this, honestly. I'm not saying it's perfect, and I'm not sure how much space we're going to have, but I do like this a lot. By the way, in terms of Chansey, all of their attacks are way too expensive. So your choices are, do you want to go for the lower retreat of the one that came around most recently, or do you want the extra HP of the one from Genetic Apex? Personally, for me, I'm going for the easier retreat. Because I don't think my opponent's doing 100 damage here before I've got it out the active. Obviously, if they hit me, I can just use a Lima to pick it up. That's a big win. Or you can use some kind of retreating aid if you want to. That will work. Honestly, I think if you play 2 Lima anyway, if you're desperate to get out the active, this will work. Although, obviously, if you're playing this one, it opens up the Leaf play a lot more easily. It's also worth noting, of course, that there was a Blissey in the new set. And free energy, 20 damage plus 20 more for each energy attached to this Pokemon. It's a 1-point Pokemon. It's fine. I'm not playing it. I just want to play around with the new EX. So we're trying to make it invincible. What else do we need? We need the energy. And as far as I am concerned, I think we want to be going water. Now, just as a quick side note, a lot of what I'm going to be talking about we can use with Magneton. Magneton's a stage 1 that accelerates energy to itself. You get a lightning energy from your energy zone, attach it to this Pokemon. It does then give you a really nice backup attacker with Magnezone. 110, hits a different weakness. I'm going to be going for the water build personally, but basically the vast majority of what I'm saying here could just be put into a Magnezone build, using Magneton to accelerate energy. And if you're going to be doing that, don't forget to play Zeraora, which also accelerates energy only on your first turn of the game, but it can still accelerate energy. If it's in play at the first turn of the game, then you essentially get an extra energy to this, and that can be moved over, etc. That will work. I don't love it, but it is an option. And to be fair, also a good early game attacker. Look, the lightning stuff probably does have better options in terms of early game attackers. I think we got to concede that. But honestly, you're missing out on Irida, and I don't think the energy acceleration is quite as good. So what are we doing with water? Same thing we've always done. You've got Manaphy. Now, Manaphy alone is actually kind of brilliant, and this is an argument, incidentally, to play stuff like Leaf so that you can quite aggressively get Manaphy into the active in the early game so that you can be accelerating energy as fast as humanly possible. So that there is a strong argument here, like I say, to play Leaf and the 2 retreat Chansey to get your Manaphy into the active as fast as possible. Absolutely an option. But the thing with Manaphy is you're accelerating energy to 2 bench Pokemon. That's kind of brilliant. That is really nice. That is what we're looking for. We like accelerating lots of energy with Manaphy. Because there's a new card that we just got in Wisdom of Sea and Sky, which I have got my eye on here massively. And we are talking about Elemental Switch. Lets you move a fire, water, or lightning energy from one of your bench Pokemon to your active. So like I've said, if you're playing the lightning build, this will move energy over as well, which is lovely. We've also got Dawn, which is a supporter card that will move energy over. And then, of course, we've got our old friend Misty, which is very, very flippy. But the goal here essentially is this. Manaphy. Use Manaphy to accelerate a bunch of energy. Hopefully, you get kind of 4 attachments with Manaphy. Ideally, 1 each onto each of 2 Chansey. But then you've got a mixture of things like Elemental Switch and Dawn, which can then move those energy over and get you rolling faster than you should normally be able to. To put it another way, turn 1, Manaphy attacks, you get 1 energy onto a Blissey. Turn 2, Manaphy attacks, and if you get 2 uses of Manaphy, well then you've just got 2 manual attachments and you're off. Or you can start using Elemental Switch, especially if you don't have 2 Chansey down. That's what I'm going for here. You can do the same thing with stuff like Magneton and Zeraora, but I don't like it as much because I love having the basic Pokemon that I can just use turn 1 going second. And I love the idea of being able to use Irida here to just heal a whole bunch of damage. Now, this is a list I'm currently rocking, and look, I've talked you through all of the options, right? So everything I've said in this video, you can basically take away and use to make a list that you find a bit better. But this is what I'm personally rocking, and this list is tight. I'm not playing Will and I'm not playing Misty because I don't want to flip. If I flip Tails, it's not going to work. I've got guaranteed cards that can help me a lot better. Now, with this list, it's a lot of what I've told you. I hate playing 1 Lima and I hate playing 1 Pokemon Center Lady, but I'm afraid that's the best I can do. I'm deliberately playing the 2 Retreat Chansey with 2 copies of Leaf so that I can try and get Manaphy active as early as possible. Half of the games I play, I'm going to start Manaphy anyway, but in the games I don't, I've got 2 Pokeball, 2 Chansey, 2 Professor's Research to try and get Chansey, and then 2 Leaf. With an Alima, if my Chansey has to take a hit, then Alima I can pick it up and reset and go. We're going here with Manaphy accelerating energy, and then using Elemental Switch to go and move it over. And between your attachment for the turn, Elemental Switch, and Manaphy, you should be able to get rolling. I'd love to play something like Wigglytuff, but there is just no room in the deck. And realistically, I don't need any early game attackers because what am I going to do? Like, I'm going to have Manaphy. Manaphy's going to get KO'd, and then I'm going to go Blissey. Best case scenario, I get a tackle 2 with Manaphy, I got a Blissey rolling, and then I can just go make my opponent go through 2 Blissey. Realistically, most of the time they're gonna KO the Manaphy, but this is why I'm going Giant Cape as my tool of choice. I'm hoping that one of them can go on a Manaphy and save it from being KO'd, and then I can just retreat it into a Blissey, and then from there I'm winning the game. Once you get Blissey, we've got 2 Irida and a Pokemon Center Lady and an Alima, plus we got Giant Cape on there. We should be able to get a bit of bulk going on, and you know, you're hitting decent damage. Plus, of course, you've got the healing from Blissey's attack anyway, and that's where we start making hay. Yes, I'd like to play Will, but it's too flippy. I'd like to play Misty, but it's too flippy. I'd like to play Wigglytuff, but there's no room in the deck. And honestly, if I try playing the Lightning build, well, I'm missing out on Irida here. And then I've got to try and find space for Magneton and probably Zeraora as well, and it's just getting far too tight. So this is my list, this is what I'm giving you, and now it's over to you guys. Give me your list for day one, Blissey, and I'm going to be excited to see how it changes over time. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Zarek Paris, who's been a support of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.